plug in your microphone.
Oh, into the computer, of course. You know?
Do you want to sit in the middle?
It's basically live now. So.
Huh? Okay.
It's basically live.
Sit on
Now, what does basically mean?
It's actually live.
Does that mean it's live now? We're pretty much dead. No, I'm kidding.
Can you adjust us?
Oh, into the frame. Yeah, the camera's right there. That's good.
We're live. Good morning from Istanbul, Backgammon fans. Bill Riles and Justin Knoll.
I gotta, just in case you forgot.
We've been drafted into commentary duty early on so that Zdeněk and Dagfin can get started on their first match.
We were a last-minute audible, but we're here, you know? Showing up is half the battle.
There you go. So anyway, Dagfin's on the top playing dark checkers. Zdeněk on the bottom playing the white checkers. First of 5 matches.
Oh, it's 5.
It's 5. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So they're playing 2 now before the main Establer tournament starts, and then they're going to be playing 3 after? Is that what it is?
I believe so, yes.
All right. Great. I look forward to this. Dagfin has been playing lights out this entire tournament. I mean, he had the second lowest PR next to Mochi, and I believe his worst PR in the last round was like, I don't know, maybe like a 2.7 or something, and then everything else I think was maybe in the 1s or just under a 2 or just around a 2. It's been super strong. I knew he was good. I didn't know how good until I really started watching, so this should be very,
You know,
very
and
strong.
I had talked to him earlier in the week. You know, last year in the Contender tournament, just by the smallest of margins, he didn't qualify for the playoffs. And he was really motivated to do so this year. And here we are in the semifinals.
Playing in this tournament is a really educational experience. I like how all of the players have a sort of camaraderie, even though we're competing against each other. After the matches, we're always going over the matches together, you know, going through positions, talking about what happened at certain scores. I've learned a lot being here. Yeah, and we all know who ZZ is, of course. You know, he.
Well, you know, and ZZ got through by the thinnest of margins to the semifinals. He beat Thomas Muir 4-3 in points, but the 8th point, which was PR in the 3rd game, was tied out to like 3 decimal places.
Is that really what happened?
It was, and they didn't award a point, or they could have done a half each. It wouldn't have mattered, but they didn't award a point. So, I mean, it was within, and Thomas had the lower average PR.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was the
Very interesting.
barest, thinnest of margins.
So is he going to just make the 4-point here? Seems reasonable, you know, just creating structure on the inner board. Out here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to make that a little bit bigger, a little bit better, quite a bit better. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. I was doing it too, and I've got 20/10 vision, so.
So you know, my 70-year-old, I wasn't going to cut it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm always looking out for everybody.
There you go, and it's appreciated.
So this is not a Galaxy board, but it is, I think actually maybe it is a Galaxy board. It just isn't like a Galaxy skinned board. It's definitely for sale on the Backgammon Galaxy website. I think this is the Mete board. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, 6-3. Oh, this is actually a really good shake. You can make the 7 and the 8 point. Just considering hitting, but I think the structure is worth more overall. Because if you rolls a 3, I mean, the board strength is equal. This just looks really strong. mean, my brain always goes towards like slotting the 5 point here with the ace. I mean, I can see that it's wrong, but that stack is, the stack on the 6 point for the white checkers is bothering me, how large it is, and the 6-4
Just gets hit.
gets hit on the outside.
Z needs the anchor.
This is an important roll. Oh, 4-6, game over. Game over. So of course, you know, being the strong players that they are, he's thinking, is this too good? The question isn't, is it good enough? It definitely is good enough. Just,
Double
you know,
pass, pretty good size.
yeah, he just doesn't want to roll through if the position is, yeah, exactly.
Just a huge pass, which.
Being concerned about whether or not something is like too good even in a spot like this is important because of the PR aspect of this match. I gave somebody a cube that was too good this week, but it got taken. So,
But you
That
don't
was
get,
nice.
you don't get credit for that.
I don't get credit for that.
Although they get probably more serious demerit than you
It
got.
was a terrible sequence. I missed a cube, gave a cube that was too good, but then it got taken. And I was like, well, this would work
What are
really
we
well in my
doing?
money game, but not in this PR
What are we
competition.
doing in this UBC competition here? You know,
Double fours.
just for everyone's information too, and they may know this, the other semifinal is going on concurrently. And that is Mochi and Dirk
Yeah.
Schiemann.
Mochi and Dirk are playing off stream right now. They're gonna trade spots at some point so we can get them on stream as well. That's like, what is it, a rematch of the finals from a few years ago?
2 years ago, I think.
2 years ago, yeah.
And Dirk's really been playing lights out also.
Yeah, he's been pretty good. He had a slower day on the second half of day one, where his PR went up to, I think, like mid to high threes. But then after the next night, he woke up the next morning and started playing lights out again. Like most matches were in the low twos.
Well, you know, it was interesting because for Mochi, unlike the rest of the world, Mochi played well, but for him, his first day was a little weak as well. You know, he didn't get into the qualification on points until the second or third round from the end.
Mochi and I were tied on points. We were all very close. There was a lot of people with 18 points. So this is a much stronger play. Stepping up to like the 21 point here when the guy has 11 checkers in the zone and that big stack on the 6 is just a bit too dangerous. You have a more flexible position here, even though it doesn't have, you know, the 7 point made. So you're just trying to build your structure and keep yourself from getting blitzed. I saw. Has he made this play yet? No, hasn't locked it in.
That's it.
That happens on the screen constantly because we're screen sharing his screen.
Yeah.
So anytime he does something on his,
Blank
it
for a
affects
second.
this one. Yeah. So sometimes I look over even though that's on a 30-second delay.
Yeah. So it's kind of blading it, but it's very thin, no double, but within the margins of the world, it's not unreasonable. 0-1-1.
Yeah, I mean, if the score was even, he'd probably turn the cube, right? If it was at 0-0. 5-4 is a bad shake.
So which 4, Justin?
It's a tough one. Generally, you don't want to ruin your structure when you have like a silly number to play. So you just tend to play off of maybe your largest stack just so you can stay flexible and have a good position even if you are hit. The value of slotting the 4 here, though, is pretty good. If you had better distribution of your spares and it would be easier to cover, maybe this would be a stronger play. maybe if one of those checkers on the 6 were on the 7 or something.
He really hates to vary to the 2, though.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why.
But he does.
But if you're hit,
And it is correct.
you just have a fairly strong position on the other side still, flexible at least.
What's that? He makes 3.
Six five's a great shake. Now he just has to fade the ace, and he'll be
And
home
then he's,
free. Double 4s, okay.
Okay, so he can cash this?
Yeah, the cube is coming. By the looks of it, he's up 20 pips, right? He's got 2 guys back behind the 4 prime. There's just nothing going on in this game for him.
Another big pass. So.
Although, it's the first time since, I guess, the whole competition, they're just checking the pip count, right? You have to count now.
Correct.
I enjoyed not having to count pips during the qualifying rounds. It was nice.
But what was interesting in those qualifying rounds, which were played on the computer with the pip count visible, boy, those matches went so fast.
Yes.
It was
a faster time control though as well.
True.
I think it's 10 or 12 seconds plus 1 minute per point playing on the computer versus over the board, where they're using 12-second delay plus 2 minutes per point. Are they both playing at a 0 still?
Yes.
Well, that's pretty good.
Into the third game.
That's pretty good, huh? Imagine trying to outperform a 0, right? And you're like, you sneeze and your PR goes to 0.02 and you've lost the PR maybe, it's wild. What a great number. 2-6 from the bar. Not great in this position though, but
He's well ahead in the race, but he doesn't have this structure yet to allow him to get too aggressive, I think, although he is down 2-0. But
yeah, I would wait.
Yeah.
I would wait. Yeah. Oh, it's nice he's considering 24-18. I think I would instantly just play 13-7. I wonder what his considerations are here, why he's looking at this one so much. It's correct. I'm asking out of genuine curiosity, like why this one over.
And I've not watched him play a lot in the past, but he does seem to be a very thorough and deliberate player. I mean, not that he's slow, but that he looks at all his options.
Yeah, well, I'm starting to see a few reasons why coming out to the 18 would be strong. It gives you direct numbers that might just try to lay out in the outfield, to give them more flexibility if somebody landed on the 11 or the 12 point.
Right, it kind of restricts.
It restricts their mobility, and then you have this upside when he doesn't hit you, and now you've got direct contact on the opponent's 13. Yeah, they're really considering just absolutely everything. I mean, to find that over the other one in this spot where every decision matters is super wild. Even here, right? The decision to play 8-4, 6-5 versus 13-9, 6-5. The difference in the equity is only 0.001, right? But that would actually ding your PR.
It's actually 0.02.
What is it? 13-9, 6-5 actually trumps it now, right? By the tiniest of margins. But when you're into this game and everyone's playing a 0, you just have to be so accurate.
You played in the qualification rounds. I mean, is there this format with the considerations that you're talking about? I mean, that's got to be really draining to keep the focus, keep the intensity, and what have you.
Lots of yeah, for sure. I mean, you're
Because like you
sweating,
say, even
you're
the-
sitting there and you're not moving and
Yeah.
you're sweating.
Yeah, even because every, what seems to be random ace you have to play has significance.
Yeah, I mean, I was playing Oliver in our match, and there was just a random ace, when he's just bringing everybody around while I'm like on the roof, right? There's an open 4-point, and he just played the random ace in the outfield, right? But if you looked at how double sixes played in that position, it was the only roll that would put that checker on the open 4-point and allow me to have a shot from the roof, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not even taking that into consideration, there's no way you can play at a Mochi level, because Mochi is thinking about where those giant rolls land on every random number. ZZ must be doing the same. Dagfin must be doing the same. The Michis of the world, the Dirks of the world are all considering all of their next rolls and their opponent's next rolls with every decision.
But one thing that I've noticed is kind of interesting from my perspective is, Mochi is renowned for not only being the best player and so forth, but he uses a lot of time early and gets into buying late oftentimes. So in this format, if he does get the buying late, he can't do quite as much
Of the number crunching.
crunching late in the match.
Definitely.
But he doesn't seem to have adjusted that strategy even within this format. But
Well, I mean, he's still the best in the world.
Yeah.
It's funny because during the video that I made of him playing Abe in the Cash Challenge, where they played at speed, he said something really interesting. He goes, "I don't know why everyone thinks I can't play fast." He goes, my one-ply level is still really good. Like even if I'm not number crunching everything, my one-ply level is still really, really, really good.
okay, so what's the count? So Z's way ahead, so Dagfin finally got to stay back on that. 23, don't you think?
Yeah, I do the race.
You need 13.7, so since he has the 18, she's suggesting he goes ahead and gives up the mid early.
Oh no!
No, I don't think you can do that with the pip count.
Wow. Well,
There
there's
goes
the
the
first
zero.
one. There's the first one. The first. Yep. There's a few numbers where you just lose coverage, right? 6-5 being one of them, where now you get a shot. And I think the problem with just staying back and also making the deuce point is, you just really want to make the 7 and the 4 next for the containment structure. If you do get a shot and are lucky enough to hit it.
Okay.
So after this
here-
play with the race lead and the coverage being gone, you have a double. Whereas in
And
maybe
we
the
have a
other
tape, so
situation,
for
you
the
might
first
not.
time, we'll perhaps get a little action here, a little.
Yeah, I mean, this is a
There it
double
comes.
and a take for money. So at the score for sure,
With the lead, certainly. So now the intensity level will escalate here with this game. Dagfin takes it as he should, and he does. The thing with these short matches too, a gammon 2-cube is
It's valuable.
huge.
It's valuable. Very, very valuable.
Now, they are playing dice on checker in the UBC, just speeds up the game more so than anything else.
The one little error. Now my PR is a 0.91. If I finished in second place on the PR playing a 0.91, I'd go jump into the river.
Zdenik's blown it too. He's 0.15.
My point over there, I don't know if the river's that way. It might be, I don't know.
Which way?
I don't know where I am now. I've just been in this hotel all week, So now he has to play 2 down.
And the sea is much closer than the river, so maybe you just jump into the
Yeah,
sea.
yeah, whatever's closer, you know? Beggars can't be choosers. To be fair, I didn't see Phil at breakfast this morning either.
No, like I said, with the,
Maybe we should go check on him, see if he's okay, actually.
well, I know Mate was texting him earlier.
Oh, okay, so he was messaging him back. He wasn't just
I
texting.
I don't know. I don't know if there was.
Breaking news. No, I'm kidding. God, I hope not. That would be terrible. That would be
But,
the worst joke ever.
Earlier in the week, this semifinals were scheduled to start at 3 p.m. today.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps Phil
Just lost track of the time.
didn't see where they had changed it to 11 a.m. this morning. So the audience will have to bear with us.
He's trying to keep that landing spot in the outfield for the 6-3-5-3 combination to help get himself in. But I don't know. I wish they could hit plus the bottom one to see if that would really be a 400 blunder if he made it. I mean, that's a large number, an impossible one to come back from in this format, I think.
Again, in a comparatively short match. Yes.
Good. Yeah, just covered.
Key role here.
Yeah, you don't want to see an ace up because then you're just nervous about what the other one's going to be, right? He's going to leave a shot with 5-1, 4-1,
I'm
6-1. You don't want the ace up. Yep.
Okay,
So now there's going to be 13 numbers that hit, all threes plus
huge.
2-1.
Huge role.
Fingers
there.
crossed. Depending on who you're rooting for.
Whoa.
I've got no skin in this game.
Nor I, but
Miss. So now there's
dice
shots.
got to play with us with that spinning die.
Oh, double ones. Better than double threes. Also better than 6-5.
Uh-oh.
Double sixes, okay.
That
Back in the race.
changes the complexion.
6-3.
So it's just a dice rolling contest now. Z with the better of it for the
Double
Whoa!
fives.
As we say that, double sixes, double fives. Wow.
You know, even when you play on non-Galaxy boards and real dice, people on the internet, this is backgammon.
Olson.
It's the primal board. That's the one. I thought it might have been the Mente board. Primal. You know, he's due for a 2-1 after a 6-6-5-5 combination, just to balance it out a little bit. Yeah.
Get that average pip count near average.
Yeah, you got to bring it somewhere close. 6-3. 6-6-5-5 followed by 2-1, just to make it fair.
It's not fair yet. 3, 7,
Well,
8.
fair is relative, Fair is
There it
relative.
is. Redouble pass right here.
So what's the count?
Boy, these 2 checkers up on roll.
Yeah, the
But
EBC
only-
is
only
the
a pip.
EBC is very different.
Yeah. That void ace really hurts Z here, I think.
He's got a 4-roll position on shake against a 5-roll position with a gap on the ace, right? Black can afford to miss, whereas white can't.
Can't.
Oh, he rolls through it.
which gives Z a chance to catch up, but he rolls the aforementioned ace.
And now he's gonna definitely see it. The hard part of that one was just missing the cube action when it comes to winning the PR point here, right?
Right.
But that's tough. I mean, you see the legit pip count being just 1 pip apart. You're up in the match. You're holding a 2 cube, giving your opponent access to a 4 cube. I can see why there was some. What's a good word?
Hesitation, trepidation.
Trepidation is the one I was going for. Yeah.
But that's kind of one of the key features of this format too, right?
Yeah, you have to
I
know
mean, you have to know all
what
of
your
those
cubes are at different scores and what you can get away with at certain
And
scores.
as you may have noticed, his PR went up to 267 after that missed cube. So
Yeah, I was missing cubes at a particular score when I was leading, not wanting to give the recube back, just trying to get to Crawford. And there was a very similar situation in the 3rd match yesterday with Mochi versus Oliver Squire. And only because I missed those cubes and then I talked to Mochi about those cubes and the cube action at the score did I know that like Oliver missed a few cubes in a particular spot. So like me just coming to this tournament, showing up, and then just being able to have access to all these great players and all these difficult spots, and just learn a lot. It's like a master class just coming to this tournament and being around everybody.
interesting, you should use that word.
Speaking of master class, due out by the year 2042.
Well, I saw an actual picture of a pre-production
Yeah, I saw that
copy
too.
of that. This is interesting, and again, goes back to the format in some regard. Oftentimes I'll always comment on just pure match play at tournaments where I'm doing commentary, that the discipline someone has to exercise to let go. Well, here, it's not only the discipline as it relates to the score, but it's even amplified by the discipline related to the PR. You can't
just gamble when it's not correct to gamble.
correct, because you pay twice.
Yeah, you can't just you can't just take because you're tired of passing. You can't just do these normal human things. You have to be on all the time. Are we delayed?
We can still hear you. We can still hear you. But the image is frozen.
Oh, I see. I didn't even notice that it was frozen. I don't even look on that side of the screen.
What is it?
Our image is frozen on the screen over here.
Oh,
Yeah. But we can still see the board moving, so that's fine. We'll just keep talking even though it looks like you're about to, even though it looks like you're about to sucker punch me.
even though we're frozen, whatever.
It's all right. I'd like a board cam anyway. Nobody needs to see my mug. I want to see the players.
Okay, now this game's taking form rather quickly with his opening rolls. Deuces now. You can play the 5 and the 6. Okay,
There we go.
got his back in.
Well done, my technical wizard friend.
Okay.
Look at this.
Now the
24,
deuces, now he can make the 4 or the 5 and a deuce, right? He could make the deuce and step up to the 24 or 22, or he could do this play, which actually is the correct play.
Yeah, this just looks too strong. I feel like after this play, if he doesn't roll an ace, if the score were different, you might even have a cube, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for that fact, I would choose this play because if you were at like an even score in this sort of position, you could give the guy the cube, you know? Whereas after the other play, you don't know what he's going to roll. He could roll like 3-1 or something, and then You could also just have two guys back trapped on the 24-point, right?
Right.
And so if you think about like your opponent's next rolls and like what could possibly happen, yeah, you could have a great position on your side, but then they could also do the same to you. And this looks clearly like the biggest improvement you can make to your position. Okay, and now he gets to make the 5 and then switch from 3 to 2.
He could do that, but I'm with you. I like the 5 and switch.
I mean, look, the guy's got 3 blocks in his board. What's he gonna do? Hit you? You know, go ahead. You know, there's a reason why, you know, you don't punch a professional boxer, and that's because they're gonna punch you back. So if you got 3 blocks in your board, go ahead and hit me. And now, you know, even at the score, you might consider this one.
And it's correct to do so.
Yeah, because that's just how strong this position is, right? Oh, he's shaking the cup. It's hard to find these leading cubes. There was supposed to be a lecture for this in Michigan, I believe, given by Jerry Tanzi, yeah. And
Who is
that never ended up happening.
incredible player.
Yeah, no, he's amazing.
He's somewhat under the radar screen because he doesn't play that many tournaments, hasn't played any tournaments internationally that I'm aware of, but just a supremely talented player.
I don't know, I always say Gary, but it's Jerry. Is it Jerry?
It's Jerry.
Yeah, I know, but I
With
always
a
say
G.
it. I always say it funny. That's because I'm funny though. I'm a little weird.
Okay.
Trying to find a play to get a take in this position, or just not make it too good for your opponent, right? Because there's nothing you can do. You're not taking this. You're just trying to find a way to not make it a play on for your opponent. You would like to be cubed out of this game and start a new one instead of having to lose 2 and allow your opponent to get to Crawford.
Well, and it's interesting too, because not only, and again, I'll pose this to you as a player who participated in it so much. I mean, he's trying to make the right play.
Yes, of course.
But he has to have a feel, I think, that he is probably leading the PR in this particular game. So he doesn't want to do anything to try to enhance, go for the win, but cost himself the PR point.
Also, this is interesting, right? So the way XG grades your checker play before a cube is supposed to come actually doubles the value of any error.
Okay.
Right? Because the cube is going to be double the value on the next turn.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say if you are already holding the cube and you made an 8% error, right? If you were already holding the cube, it would actually be valued at like a 16% error if the cube is coming on the next roll.
I got you.
And so a really strong player knows that any checker play before a cube action is going to count double.
It's going to be amplified.
Therefore, they have to make the most accurate checker play right before they're going to get cubed, because if they make a mistake, it's going to charge them twice. And that is some knowledge for you on the internet.
You got that for free from the master teacher, Justin.
Not for free. My Venmo, my PayPal, all of the info is available for you.
Well, Phil is still among the living.
Yeah, I
was so sick, I can't tell you.
was like, oh my goodness, like, I made a joke and I go, did somebody ever check Phil's room?
He just did. I wish somebody had 3 hours ago.
Right? And I was like, oh my goodness, like, what if I just made this joke and Phil's actually dead? I would never know until the stream was
I
over.
would be honored.
Okay, so here we got the double take.
That's Phil's life support machine he's plugging in over there. So if you hear that beeping in the background, that's just monitoring his pulse.
Let Phil get organized here, and I'll give him his seat back. And I got to go get cleaned up. The main event starts at
What are they playing? Backgammon or what? What kind of game is that?
Yeah, they're playing Bazooki, Phil, your favorite.
Oh, they're playing Bazooki and I missed that?
Let me know when you're ready.
A couple days.
Okay, so we're still reaching this double pass situation. I wonder what the size, okay, so it's an 8% error if he doesn't double again. And that's the problem sometimes also with missing cubes in backgammon. If your position isn't really improving, is that it's just a repeat error.
An accumulating error.
Exactly.
We've all.
And it's the worst when you miss one and then the position gets a little bit, you know, maybe worse, right? And then you miss another one, but this is great. Okay, good. So he gets to get out of this.
The question is, how do you-
Provided ZZ wants to pass, you know?
Well, it's still a big pass, but it's a closer pass than it was the earlier two rolls where he
Great
missed
comment. ZZ stands for 0.0.
I like
Okay,
that.
Martin, you win. What's that computer for?
Say that.
What's that?
Communicate with Wilson.
Well, Z's putting a lot of thought into this.
Yeah, he's going through all of his calculations, his risk over risk plus gains, sort of take point calculations at the score to try to figure out where he needs to be in order to find the take pass point at the score. Oh, and he takes
it. So there goes the 0.11. Let's see how big an impact that will make. Up to 102. I mean,
Not a big one.
Usually when I, hit a factor of 10 on my PR, I'm somewhat over 1.
Yeah, he's playing very accurately. Although I say we haven't had super complex stuff happen yet. For these players, you know, obviously.
Right.
Five and 3. You jinxed him, Mark. You
Jinxed him with the 0-0, huh?
Yeah. Saying that during a backgammon PR competition is like being in a horror movie and saying, "I'll be right back."
Okay, so Z's in dire straits here. He's trying to maintain some semblance of a board with any potential of getting a future shot, but that's perhaps what he didn't want to do
Yeah,
when
2 to 1.
leave the ace when he's still got a bunch of builders bearing on you.
Yeah, 2 to 1 is just more efficient
Since this game's over.
Oh, no.
for
It's
getting
a-
off the gammons when you're racing around the board, just in case it closes you out, you know. Double sixes leaves a shot though.
We have good news and bad news.
I'd say mostly bad news. Okay, pretty good news now. So you're saying there's a chance. Double ones, not so
He used
good.
all his sixes last roll.
How many checkers does he have off? 6? Okay, maybe not yet, but we're creeping up to the point where we can get the cube in. Maybe we get a few guys in direct range, we get faded here,
And of course, here's where it will be amplified because it'll be a recube. And, right,
oh,
so-
no 6, okay, now ZZ can think about it. Ooh, it's getting close, it's getting very, very close.
And look at this, no redouble take.
You know, he's not really risking much by giving him the cube back here, you know, with 6 guys off. So with 5 guys off, so what, he wins about, oh, because there's a gap on the ace as
There's a
well
gap
on the
on the
other
ace.
side, which makes it much worse for him, yeah. Yeah, you get penalized quite quite a lot by not having everything just on the ace in these sorts of spots post late hit. Everything on the ace and deuce would be really efficient, but here you
There it
just
comes.
miss. I like this. I like this cube, even though it's a small mistake. You just
And Dagfin recognized, look here.
oh,
Uh-oh.
1, 2, 3, and shot time. This is an important roll. 5-4. All right, ZZ is in command now. No men off. That's not good. And he's 6, and Dagfin will be back in the driver's seat. Nope. 6-6
Second
again.
set of sixes.
Okay,
Wow.
rigged dice. We're gonna have ourselves a tied match, maybe. You know, they're sharing the same dice, by the way, so.
Shouldn't be a distinct advantage to either.
Yes. I like the sharing the same dice roll. This is double ones, okay.
Okay, well, it looks like we got a 3-point match. And to use a baseball analysis terminology, this closer
Double
uses...
fives, uh-oh.
Uh-oh,
Did you just jinx them? Okay.
already doing the wrap-up and who knows, right?
Double
Oh,
6. Oh my
man.
God.
Unbelievable. Well, I may get up after this match.
That's all right. You saved my life.
6-3, okay. And no ace, and the match is over. Ace from
And
outer
it'll be a
space, drum
point-
roll.
A point apiece.
And it's
A point
over.
apiece it is.
Wow.
How'd they play?
9.99 for
Zinizisco
Zinnick,
played
and
under a
three.
1, and Dagfin played a
That's a
3.15.
point apiece.
So we have 1 point each in this match. That was a great one.
A point apiece, but Zdenek has a pretty good edge in PR for the ultimate cumulative
If it
average
ends up
PR
being
if it
tied.
ended up being tied.
But it wasn't a very long match, I don't think. What was it? 3-4 games, maybe?
Yeah, so it's not the huge number of
Yeah.
decisions. That
So
might
the
be
amount of
involved.
decisions that they make in the match really makes a big difference. When
Okay,
you
well,
pile
I'm
the
going
average
to step
together.
away. I've got to go.
Well, thank you for stepping
up and
in.
all, but,
Also, thank me
appreciate
for
it.
stepping in. I wasn't supposed to be here either. So Phil,
So Phil is here.
there you go.
Good morning. Welcome, sir. Thank you. You guys saved my life. Let me ask you something. What happened in the first match?
This is the first match.
I'm talking about the other match. They're playing right now?
Playing over
they're
there.
in another area.
Mochi and,
I have no idea. I was gonna go.
This
check
was
right
the
now.
first string.
Mochi and Dirk are playing right now.
In the other room. Yeah.
I can't get over how beautiful these boards are. I'm blown away by the artistic work that FM has done, and I must tell you, I have a piece of P40. I guess you could say I'm a competitor, but the P40 board is such a different kind of board. But I want to tell you a little story about this. Mete was my student, a Turkish gentleman, and he was friends with Fuat, and they decided they were going to make some backgammon boards. That's where FM comes from. FM boards is Fuat and Mete. Mete said, we're going to make wooden boards, Phil. What do you like? We want your advice. And I told him how much I like the Taki board. I've had Taki boards for years, and Taki has been a very close friend of mine forever. And I sent them my Taki board. And I also told them a couple things I didn't like about the Taki board. I think it's an incredible board. Taki is a craftsman. For many years, he had the only really beautiful, great handmade wooden boards out there, and he made a lot of them. But there were a few things I didn't like, and I told them about the features I would like to see. And they went into business, and they sent me the second board they ever made. And it was just beautiful. And I said, you guys are going to be very successful, and let me help you. I became, in effect, their agent, sold a whole lot of their boards in the U.S., and helped get their name known. So I'm very proud of that, and we've been very close friends ever since. I had to disassociate myself from them when I became a partner in P40. A really good friend of mine, a really wonderful guy named Tom Buckner, wanted to make a much more expensive board that would be, compete with the really expensive boards, the Jeffrey Parkers and so on. And he involved me in that, and I'm still involved with P40. And very proud of that group and what they do. But I continue to be blown away by the P40 boards, and of course the Earth board and all the other boards that Galaxy sells are made by P40, and they're just a great company. And I recently sent one of my students from the United States, was in Turkey visiting, and this lady and her husband wanted a board for, they needed a board for their home, they needed one for their private jet, they needed one for the yacht, another one for the home, the other homes they have, and a couple more for the kids. And didn't have really time to go to the FM factory, the Fuat's factory, so Mete brought a bunch of samples to her hotel room, and she bought 7 boards. And they were personally designed for her with the kind of, she liked white wood, with the kind of wood, white, I guess you'd call it, stain on the boards. And I was blown away by those boards and the service that she got. These people take such care to do it right. And I must tell you, the world of the board since I started playing this game, I love Bob Zavarol, another really great friend of mine who made great leather boards and still does in Chicago. And I still recommend him if you want a nice leather board. There's a lot of other, the Gammoner boards are beautiful, the FTH boards are beautiful. There's a lot of them out there, and I'll tell you why, and there's so many that are successful. Backgammon players have learned that the game is more fun and more enjoyable on a really good piece of workmanship. Everybody has a different opinion on what's a good board. Some people hate the sound and the clicking sound of my P40 boards, and some people love it. Some people hate the big heavy wooden boards. Some people like a lighter board. Some people like a smaller board. Whatever you like, that's fine, but get whatever you like. And if you're playing on a piece of junk, a cheap board, and by the way, for the most part, you get what you pay for. So if you're willing to invest a little bit more money in a really good board, you will enjoy the game more. It just feels so good to sit there when the checkers fit properly, when you have really, really nice heavy checkers. I don't happen to like light checkers. I happen to like metal rim checkers, and that's just my preference, but I played on many boards without it, with what they call the Spanish checkers. But I think that's just really a big thing, and I encourage you to think more if you're playing on something junky. I think you'll stay with the game longer and like it more on a good board. Okay, that's my thesis on boards today. I think we'll take a break now. Let me check on where we're at. ZZ continues and Dagfin continues to prove that they're fabulous players. The next match that will be streamed is at 12:30 in 20 minutes. I don't think you want to hear me talking for 20 minutes about various things, but we are taking a break in the middle of the day today for the opening ceremony, in particular of the Istavar tournament. So let's just take a break here. We'll be back at 12:30 for the next match, which will be Mochi and Dirk, two of my very dear friends, two of my teachers in the Backgammon Learning Center. And Dirk, again, I want to urge you to buy his book if you're an open player. If you're a little less than an open player, I think it's a tough book myself. He didn't write it for the casual player, but it is a masterpiece. It's a work of art in many ways. Okay, we'll see you at 12:30. That's in 20 minutes. Take a little break here. See you soon. Try to get this, or should we? We need to move him in, or do you take care of that?
Just, add moving in a little bit.
Come on, one more.
I'll just come back in.
Okay, are we're streaming?
I think you're on now.
Okay,
I'm just on.
all right. Let's make sure, I think we're live. Well, looks like we're getting ready for the Duke Mochi match. In their first match, we know Mochi won 7-5. We don't know the PRs because it has to be transcribed. They're doing it now. I am joined by my good old friend that I've known for years here in Turkey, Ali Seaton Belin. Did I say that right?
Yeah,
I did.
Ali is enough.
Ali Zita?
Ali.
Ali Zita Belin. Ali is here to make me look better. He is the number one ranked by PR player in Turkey and one of the highest in the world. He's a grandmaster, which means he plays under 3 PR average in the BMAB. And he's been known to me for many, many years to be a great player. Not known around the world as much before we had BMAB because he doesn't travel that much because he just hasn't given up his day job. He's a science teacher, teenage kids. And I told him, I don't believe in science. You got to prove it to me. But a lot of respect for this young man. He also is very much involved with FM boards and works with Fuat, helps with the tournament. But this tournament you're going to play,
Yeah,
and you're going to win it. You're my pick.
yeah, I know, but unfortunately I missed it this year. It should be better to work on Monday and Tuesday. So
You had to work, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think work gets in the way of backgammon way too much and family way too much. So that's why you don't get the accolades that you deserve because you're wasting your time. You have a family?
no,
No family? Well, see, there's no excuse then. You just quit your job and play backgammon. If I were as good as you, if I could play like you played, there's no question what I would be doing. I'd be traveling the world, playing backgammon, finding money games on the side, and I'd be the richest man in the world with your skills. It's amazing.
I hear that a lot.
Yeah, yeah, but
But I like my style of living. I like teaching kids.
yeah.
So
Teaching
I
kids.
like Istanbul, and I have a good friend community here.
Okay,
So
so there
maybe-
is a life that besides backgammon that matters, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
I also teach backgammon here. So
Oh, great, great. Okay, we're getting started here. Let's see what's going on here. A little backgammon match going to be starting here shortly. Or have they started? No, the dice are on the table. This is from before. So I'm sure these players need no introduction. Mochi was the odds-on favorite before we started, not only because, like several of the players, he's a great player, but he's so consistent. I mean, we just saw ZZ play a 1 PR match. All of them are capable of playing under 1 PR once in a while, but when you want to talk about consistently, Mochi's your pick, and that's why he was our pick to win. But in my mind, I had ZZ and Dirk and Michi. Michi's got knocked out. That surprised me. That's that's the biggest surprise to me, because he certainly was one of my top picks, and I didn't know Dagfin, and I'm told that's no surprise at all. He belongs, and when I look at his games and PRs, there's no question he belongs up there amongst the superstars. And I'm sorry, a couple of the superstars, Wilcox couldn't make it,
Yeah.
Victor Ashkenazi, Hideki Udea, Kazuki. These guys are all capable of playing.
Wilkinson, Arif, Alipur.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
We
so,
have too many misses.
yeah, there's so many great players that Matt Cohn-Geyer that could easily be contenders and give Mochi a heck of a fight. But Mochi's getting all the fight he deserves. He is focused so hard. And if you've ever been in any tournament with Mochi, I don't care if he's in the first round of the last chance, he's intense. He wants to do his best. He takes this game seriously. He has respect for the game, and he's gotten all of our respect because of it. So I'm not rooting for Mochi, because Dirk is also a good old dear friend of mine. We spent a lot of time together. I'm rooting for them all. I'm rooting for good PRs, good play, and they're also enjoying it. But if I had to pick the most intense people who just are really, really constantly focused on trying to win, Mochi and Dirk would be my two picks. I mean, ZZ is, maybe it's a matter of personality. He seems to be relaxed and enjoying himself. He's here with his mother and is social. Mochi, not that Mochi and Dirk aren't social, but they're, even between matches, they are so focused on what's going on with their game. They're looking at their previous mistakes and so on. Okay, we're setting up. Mochi's on top, and we can have him start. We're ready. I just gave him word, it's time, we're ready to start. I think they don't need help setting up the board. It looks like they're confused about how to set up the board. Maybe I should go help them.
And we still don't know the PRs, I guess.
We don't know the PR for the previous match. We should have it soon. They're working, Mate is working very hard on getting it done, and I think Hossein is doing the analysis right now. Okay, let's focus on this match and what's going on right now.
And I love the boards.
Oh, the boards
The
are,
colors.
oh, the colors? They're lovely. I love, these are the tones I like. I don't want boards that are so bright and garish that you're distracted. The other thing that's very important to me is you never lose a checker on a pip. So I do have a little problem. The black checkers on the dark points they're okay on this board, but I like more of a contrast. When I design boards, and I've designed hundreds of boards for my students and friends and people who bought boards from me. I used to represent FM boards and Airhand boards and Jeffrey Parker. I sold a lot of Jeffrey Parker boards, Gammon. I'm involved in boards for life, but I think it's very important that you don't ever lose a checker on a point. Okay, they're shifting where they put the clock in the scoreboard, and everybody's got their preference. A lot of people say, I want the scoreboard on the left. Well, you can't both have it on the left. One of you's got to have it on the right. But whether you have it which one you have on the bear-off tray or away from the bear-off tray. A lot of people say you must hit the clock with the same hand that you use to move the checkers, and you should only move. I agree that you must only use one hand for moving the checkers. But I don't care if they use the other hand to hit the clock. I think I'm not even sure if that's a rule, if that's a thing. As Matt Cohn-Geyer says, is that a thing? Okay.
It's your comfort for your
Yeah.
opponent. You can follow easily.
I think the rule should be the two players should be comfortable. Once in a while, if they disagree, then you call the director over and he makes a decision. But guys like Dirk and Mochi have played each other many times. They've traveled together. They've been friends together. I ran a tournament with Perry in the Bahamas, and they were both there. We just had a ball. We all got along. In fact, that's where I first started playing a lot of bouzouki. My good friend Alan Tish and I were 2-against-1 against Mochi several times. Dirk played bouzouki. We had a ball. We just had a lot of fun together. These are great. These guys are terrific people. People I would be If I wasn't a backgammon player, I want to be friends with these guys. Okay, all of this should have been done before you roll the dice on the first roll, but it doesn't faze these guys. Ellie, have you been watching, or you've been too busy setting up for the tournament?
Yeah.
Have you watched any of the matches?
No, unfortunately.
The reason is that
I missed everything after, but
Portuguese got a reflection of the light.
for sure
Okay,
I will
thank you.
watch all the videos from the beginning.
I was just informed, the reason I switched everything around is the light coming down was reflecting off the clock right into Mochi's face. So that's why they changed everything, and I'm sure Dirk was a very good sport about it and said, look, I don't want to, I always say the sun is in my eyes, but the light really was in Mochi's eyes, and he didn't want to be distracted, and he said something about it, which is smart. You don't just lose the match afterwards and then complain that I hated the way that it was set up. You take care of it.
Yeah.
Mochi's meticulous about his backgammon. Okay,
3-5,
yeah.
like a mandatory play.
You have to like Dirk's position in this game so far.
Yeah.
Dirk's got a superior position because he's got, well, is he going to take the golden point? Yes.
Yeah, anchor up and 65.
And 6-5, good.
3-1.
That's a very, very good roll
No,
for Mochi.
mutual holding game.
Yeah. I call this spy versus spy. First one who blinks loses. They're each holding a high point in each other's board.
You have to keep safe as possible. You can do it.
You know, I had a revelation not long ago. I've been teaching backgammon for about 30 years, and we teach that there's 11 distinct types of games that you get into. And then it hit me that the holding game, or what we call an anchor game, is the most common. You spend 60 to 70% of your time where either player is holding a point and the other side. So I've begun teaching that game is really more critical to understand than any other game, even races, because you have to understand them all to be good. But if you can master the anchor game, this game that we're looking at right now, you've mastered 60 to 70% of the time that you're playing. So that's very important. And the good news is these are not hard games compared to containment games and back games and priming games. These are not that hard to figure out when you're supposed to double and how you're supposed to play the checkers. It's easier than most types of games. So I make sure all of my, particularly intermediate students, spend a lot more time studying this type of game. Now, at this level of play, when it comes to Mochi and Dirk, they've got every kind of game mastered, or they wouldn't be here. But they know this cold. They know exactly when you double, when you pass, what your odds are. Because again, they knew before I did, because they're smarter than me, how common this game is and how you better master it. That's why so many people have studied so hard the opening moves and the second rolls and know them in detail, because it comes up over and over again. Every single time you play, you're playing the opening move. You're playing the second roll moves. So even if you make a small mistake there, you're going to make that small mistake thousands of times. Okay, I said it was spy versus spy. The first one who breaks their anchor is going to lose unless you roll doubles. Now the critical thing is when you roll doubles, what's the race? And here he's got a great racing number, but he's losing the race by 2 pips after the roll. Now he doesn't see the pip count. We do. What do you do, Ali?
It's hard for me, but most probably I will choose the second move on the board. Yeah, I can not leave my anchor at the moment. But it's very hard because 63 is very ugly. I don't want to. Yeah.
This is not an easy play.
Yeah, very hard, very tough for me. Yeah, Moshi, take my play. For one checker, died.
He risked had to leave the shot. Oh, that's, that means,
Play safe and wait.
yeah, that means, yes, you don't leave a shot when you're winning the race. So when you're up in the race, your game plan is to race. You don't want to get hit.
And both have four anchor boards.
I don't know why you would leave the shot here, because I think you can win with the cube. Is the pip count? Oh, the pip count, he's up 14 after the move. That pip count is before the move. So he's up 14 pips. That's not really a big lead because the average roll is 8. And so after Dirk makes this move, Mochi will probably roll around 8 pips, and he'll only be up 6 pips. So he does have to be concerned with how to bring it home. Okay, but he made the safe play. I agree with that.
Perfect roll.
Yeah, because now it's very hard for Dirk not to leave a shot, and Mochi just for Mochi not to leave a shot, and Dirk just improved his board to be ready for that. And
Here is the shot.
the only way, well, you break the 6 point, you don't leave a shot, but I don't know if that's Mochi's style.
I think we should volunteer here.
I think every beginner would break the 6 point, and it is quite a blunder according to XG. Pay now, pay later. You can spend 10 years studying that and still not get it right all the time. It's a hard concept.
This is the last shot because 5-5 is not working.
This leaves, as we know, 17 shots.
5-1.
5-1 doesn't hit. Yeah. So that's 15 shots. This is easier to bring home, though, if you get missed. So the two considerations when you have to leave a shot, how often will I get hit, and how often, if I don't get hit, will I be able to play safely going forward?
But this is easy to hide your blood because your opponent have to play from 13 or have to break his home board. So this is safer. Missed.
Yeah, this is a very, very bad roll. Bad roll for Dirk.
Cube is coming, I guess.
You think the cube is coming?
Yeah.
Yeah, because low numbers hit, ones hit. He's got no blot in his inner board. Mochi can hit freely with an ace. If he doesn't roll an ace, he's very likely to
Win the race.
win the race and play safely. So Dirk is thinking about one thing: how can I take the cube after my play?
Now, whatever you play, it's a take, I guess. So,
You think it's a take?
yeah, why don't we reduce the shots?
Reduce the shots. This is your play.
Yeah.
I think you get more.
37 is better.
It's better because you get more shots on the other side. But when you say it's better, .002, we don't know if it's better, until it's rolled out. No question about the cube. And I would be afraid to take it, but that's why I know I'm giving the cube. So again, I use Woolsey's law. I ask myself, how would I feel about getting this cube? Would I take or drop?
It's a good approach. I like that.
Oh, it's the best approach. I don't think anything comes close. Thank you, Mr. Woolsey. I don't know if he came up
with.
with.
Get if we have a good anchor there, so not many gammons, and there is a good contact. We shouldn't give it that point easily.
And if you don't get hit, you got a lot of
shape.
power. You
Yeah,
got a lot
good
of power, and you don't always get to safety. Sometimes you roll something that doesn't get to safety. Okay, sevens. There's 6 ways to roll a 7.
Yeah.
6 out of 36.
And
Oh! Now that is your best miss. That is your best miss. We have a very close race now. It's anybody's game. And by the way, when you have a close race and you're holding the cube, that cube, and I learned this from John O'Hagan years ago, that cube gives you an extra 18% in a longer race chance to win because you can use the cube to end the game. By the way, you can also use the cube to raise the stakes to make it a 4 cube if you just did to be over 70%. So it's a big thing here to be even in a race and holding the cube. So that was an incredibly big roll at double 6. These two have played many times, but they also played in the finals of the Contenders at one point, and it was an incredible match. I know Dirk was very unhappy. He felt he didn't play his best, and he didn't. He's played better. But if I ever knew a perfectionist, it's besides Mochi, it's Dirk. I should say Dirk. That's how he says it. I don't think he knows how to say his name as well as I do. It's all about the race and look at distribution. And look how much time he's taking on this. The average player would just move this in about 2 seconds. And one play might be 1% or 2% better than the next. Mochi knows this, but he wants to make the play that's 1 or 2% better. You have to be a perfectionist to play at this level of backgammon. Maybe that's why I'm not at that level. If I get close, I'm happy. That's the wrong attitude if you want to be a super giant like you, Allie.
It's got some kind of sickness. I don't know.
It's a sickness?
Yeah.
And you have it, huh?
This is my weakness. I try to find the best move, like this entering moves or veer off moves. I also spend a lot of minutes.
Yeah,
here.
I have seen when somebody has a 2% chance to win, working really hard to find the play that gives them 3% chance to win. And they don't give up. I love that.
Yes.
Oh, the recube, this is big. Up 5 pips in a short race like this, that's a lot of pips. It's clearly a big recube and a big take. And even if it wasn't close to a recube and you're playing a guy like Mochi, you want to put pressure on the cube. It's a great cube by Dirk. He didn't take long to figure that out. There's formulas for this. The best formula for this kind of position, a lot of people use the Keith count and eyesight, but EPC, effective pip count, really seems to be the best formula. What John O'Hagan taught me is he uses effective pip count and he adjusts with using Matusak. I mean, I don't know how many people can do that over the board, but he can. And I'm sure Mochi and Dirk can too. Dice on the checkers counts here. I love that rule. Saves time. Why not play that way? Started in the U.S., very controversial, and now it's been pretty much accepted. Mochi's going to have to really roll big here. And being down 4-0 in a match to 7 is a tough fight. But I think I saw one guy come back and win from there. Are you looking at the PRs? They're both playing under 1? Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
As you told, it's.
Oh, this is huge. Look at that, double 5s. Oh my goodness. That's not enough necessarily. If Dirk rolls any, double 1s, pretty bad. Okay, 1, 2, 3 rolls versus 2 rolls, so you can't recube yet. At this point, I just count rolls. I don't count any kind of formulas. 3 roll, 2 roll is not a winning combination. Now, I think no matter what Dirk rolls, I don't think Mochi can get a cube in. I don't know. If he doesn't roll, this is really, really, what do you think, Ali? That's why I got an expert sitting here.
Yeah, previous rolls, there is an ace, previous roll.
Oh.
If no ace, we should consider, but now it's easy to roll.
Big joker rolls. If he had missed there, it would certainly be a recube.
Yeah.
Because he'd have 28%, it'd be 72% chance for Mochi to win. And at 28%, we've already had this situation come up. What was his take point would be closer to 20% or 25 on the recube.
And there is a master redouble take, so
Yeah,
one game match.
Do you know those percentages exactly on the take points? You don't?
I don't know the match.
How can you be that good? You get it right every time.
I practice a lot. I have a good memory.
So I've always said there's more than one approach to greatness. There's the mathematical approach that John O'Hagan takes, and then there's a visual and practice approach that you take. And Michi is pretty much that kind of player too, from reference positions. He knows.
My idol is falafel. You know.
Falafel?
Yeah.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. But the very top players that we're looking at, most of them have both approaches. They can do the math. And I'm sure you could do the math if you took your time, but you didn't need to. You knew the answer.
Yeah.
You don't need to do the math if you know
Not
the answer.
all of the time, but
So you don't need science if you already know what's right. See, science is worthless. So I've been saying, you're wasting your life. Play backgammon. All right. 4-0. Big swing games for Dirk. But you remember, Dirk lost the first match So if he wins, this is going to be much more, this is a very exciting series. And the winner of this will play the winner of ZZ and Dagfin. But I must tell you, as much as I like both of them, these two are my, well, I don't know, ZZ's way up there. It's hard to say. Mochi had to be the favorite, and then I would have picked ZZ but after seeing Dagfin play, boy, this guy is as good as anybody.
That when make it semifinal, as I remember, in the Gibraltar.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so he's also
He hasn't
very
played in
strong.
as many tournaments around the world and isn't as well known. But he's certainly, after this tournament, he's going to be a household name in backgammon. This guy is amazing. Nice guy, too.
And very gentleman, yeah.
Yeah, real
sportman.
gentleman. Well, who is it of this group, of these finalists? Of all the, I mean, I didn't know, I must tell you, every now and then I'll go to a tournament, there's a jerk or two, but not amongst these high-level players. And not in Turkey. God, I love the Turkish players.
And checking anchor up or hit. Because of score, it's easy for Moshi, but he wants to check it
Uh-huh.
again and again.
Yeah, I think you have to hit.
Yeah.
In the early game, we have a hierarchy that I always teach. Can I hit, can I make a point, or can I play strategically in that order? And usually hitting comes first. How do you not hit here? What's the XG say? Oh, okay. He didn't hit.
Yeah,
That's a
interesting error. From
very
Moshi.
uncharacteristic mistake for Mochi. And especially when you're losing, I would be more inclined to go for volatile plays to win more, that give me more possible gammons. I'm surprised at that play. That's something I would not have expected Mochi to do. Nobody's perfect. Mochi's had his share of blunders. We all do. No, I don't. I never blunder. Thank you for laughing. People often don't know when I'm joking. Put your hand up. Put your hand up.
Two downs seems perfect. I mean, better than the other option.
Uh-huh. I like what you said, better than the other option. Sometimes the best play is really, really ugly, but the other plays are
Sorry,
ugly.
but yeah, we reduce the shots.
Do you know how many times instantly you can get hit if you make this play?
Yeah, it's easy to.
So you do use some math.
I use some math, of course.
Okay.
I use probabilities. Some
Okay, you count shots and so on. How many times you can roll a 7 or an 8?
Yeah.
There's 6 7s and there's 6
Of course,
8s?
Of course, I should
Okay.
use that.
Okay. I just refuse to believe you can be as good as you are and not use some formulas in math.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have time to play chouette?
Rarely.
Rarely, because there's lots of chouette action in Istanbul. That's
Yeah.
one of the reasons
Every
I
day
come here.
shoot.
Every day.
Istanbul is
Every day.
like your hometown. Every day shoot.
Yeah, like
You can
Chicago.
find it.
Yeah. All right, good roll. Any 6 is great. The 1 is forced.
Should come out.
I'm still shocked that Mochi's non-hit there. I don't care how big a mistake it was. The concept of when you're behind like that, not to hit. And you can see it in his PR. Mochi's playing horrible, 2 PR, my God. Based on how we've seen the PRs, 2 PRs not impressive anymore. Isn't that amazing? We'd be jumping up and down if somebody played a 2 PR 10 years ago. We're getting spoiled here. You're gonna make the rest of us all look so bad. I mean, I may never play at a string match again the rest of my life. Be so embarrassed compared to these guys. And I'm not a bad player. I'm just, compared to these guys, it's unbelievable. What's your play here, Ellie?
It's easy for Dirk as well. I believe that, but you have to be sure because of the score advantage. And he's leading the PR. He should play safe, but safe plays is very, very problemful for the next rolls.
He doesn't know he's leading PR. They don't think that way. They're only thinking about what's the right play. They don't even think about the score. They think well, the score is part of deciding what's the right play, but they're thinking, what's the right play? Because they know that in the long run, they're going to win more if they do it. Especially when you're playing Mochi or Dirk, someone at this level, all you want to do is make the right play every time, because you're not going to sit there and try and maneuver your opponent or hope he blunders. It ain't going to happen. Do you make the bar or lift?
Bar.
Make the bar, okay. I wasn't sure. It was close, by the way, so not sure is the right answer. Oh, see, you should have lifted.
Yeah.
Now you know what's right.
Now 2 down seems.
Two down
Okay,
leaves
yeah.
leaves ones and threes, but ones and threes are duplicated. You have to have ones and threes to come in.
And 2
And-
men on the 5 prime, not straight prime, but
Uh-huh.
very good shape. So
Yes, you gotta like Dirk's position here, and you gotta start thinking about the cube. At the score, Mochi's taking so fast, so Dirk rolled fast. I don't know if you come in here. I like to save big numbers. He's up enough, he's up so much in the race. See, I probably wouldn't do that. And by the way, it's close, good.
and 13 point is stripped at the moment. I want 13 points stripped. I mean, ready to clear. So
Uh-huh.
I don't like checker on the 13.
If the score were reversed, I think this might be a cube,
Yeah,
if the score was
agreed.
reversed.
Agreed.
But because of the score, he's not doubling, and I think that's right.
Yeah.
You gotta be more conservative, because
I usually use this rule. I postpone the cube twice.
twice.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
really?
find the double take. I upgrade my position twice and double.
Oh, interesting. Of course, it depends on what you roll. If you roll
Yeah,
double
of
six,
course.
yeah.
Not big
You're talking
upgrade.
about the standard rolling.
Yeah, standard
You-
upgrade. Yeah.
So you would take you 2 rolls longer to double if
Yeah.
you're up 4-0 or whatever. Okay, and it depends on whether you're up 3-0 or 4-0 or 3-1. It all changes. But you got it already set in your mind about where you double. And again, you start that way the beginning of every game. I keep stressing. You don't get in the middle of the game and then ask yourself what's going on at the score. On the opening roll, because it could change your opening move. There's many opening moves that change whether you're ahead or behind. So who's your heroes? Who have you learned the most from? How did you get so good?
I learned from Mustafa Altuntaş, Erhan Yenişen, Cihangir Çetiner, İbrahim Karaca, Sabri Büyüksoy.
Sabri was the most known Turk because he traveled the most back 20 years ago, and I got to be really good friends with him. What a great ambassador for the game he was. And did I say it right, Chantal?
Cihangir.
Cengiz? Okay. But he and I become very good friends, except I can't say his name. He's a world champ and just a sweet, sweet guy. He's a surgeon. He's a doctor.
Yes.
And he came early the other day just to see me. We had lunch together. We played some backgammon together because we're old good friends. I love the guy. Is he playing? I know he's real busy with some.
He's very
stuff.
busy
Yeah,
at the moment.
got something going on in court. He was dressed nice. I said, "Oh, you're going to see the judge?" He said, "Yes." All right, we got a 6-4 to play. You don't need to count the race to know your way down in the race.
I never found this cube. No way.
Oh.
I'm cubing this. Yeah, Dirk also missed it.
Well, it's a very small cube, but I would not have thought about doubling there either. Interesting that it was a cube. Well, PRs are still both under 2 PR, even with Mochi's error on that hit. Must not have been that big an error. At the time I thought it was. For money, this would have been a cube before this, or an even score for sure. And he actually did miss a cube, a small cube. But now it's very, what we call brittle. It's very brittle, as Justin likes to say.
You have to keep 8 here.
You make the ace point?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
play from 6.
Yeah. So the integrity of your inner board, and for Dirk, he isn't concerned with that. All he's concerned with, how do I bring this home without leaving a shot? That's his only thought. And this is going to leave more shots.
And we don't those 5s that we can repay now. You feel me? 5-4, 5-3,
Yeah.
we can pay now.
Right. And you have a landing spot. That if you roll a 5-4, I think you probably volunteer. Oh, it depends on how much timing your opponent. Yeah, he's got enough timing. If you roll a 5-4 or 5-3 here, you would volunteer. 5-2, probably not. I'm talking about Dirk's next roll.
Maybe I play here, pay now.
Pay now.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's another idea. Right now, if it was a 5-1 or 5-2, you probably don't pay with a 5-3. It's close.
yeah, Moshe has plenty time because of
The spare?
spare checker on 18 and this 7.
Yeah. So paying now, XG says is slightly wrong, and he made the slightly wrong play.
Yeah.
By the way, it wasn't on my list at that point. I thought I would have waited one more roll.
Now 5-0.
Yeah, now it's a cube.
Yeah, we got
Very easy to bring home.
12 7
Yeah, and very hard to get a shot and win from here, and you're way down in the race. It's a very big pass. He lost his market. For people who don't know that term, it's a critical term in backgammon. He waited until his opponent could not take to double. Now, there's many times where you're happy to lose your market. That means you want a point. But a lot of the time, ideally, you'd like to cube right before you get to that point. And there was that point, and Dirk missed it, but I think it was like only a 2% error at the time, something like that. And both Ali and I admit that we would not have cubed there either. Okay, it's 2 away,
7 away.
7 away.
They both play amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1.5 versus under 1. I can't wait to get the PRs of the previous match so we can see how they stand. Okay, do you know the match equity here? Do you know what the odds are of Mochi winning this match?
No.
No? Well, Neil's numbers should tell you. There's methods of doing that. But very quickly, I think he's got somewhere around 20%, maybe somewhere in that range. If Mochi had 3%, he would be fighting with all his strength. So nobody gives up here.
I know Dirk's take point is very low if you don't get enough gammons,
Uh-huh.
and Moshi's cube is very early.
Well, at 2 away, 5 away, the leader's take point is 17%. But I checked this the other day. I thought it was very, very low too. It's a little higher. It's more like 19 or 20.
A little higher.
A little higher.
I know the info.
Yeah, so Dirk's take point would be about 19%, something like that. Mochi's is still going to be somewhere in the range of around 23 or 24%.
Should we take the 5 here or carry on? No, he's too strong.
See, I always make the 5 point unless it's wrong. That's my theory on this, on the 5 point. He could have made the 5 point there, but he hit.
Too many return shots.
Too many return shots?
Also 6 covers 8, so say 7.
Uh-huh.
So it's better to read twice and come down, yeah.
Yeah. But always hit twice. So if we use the word always, we found out that word is meaningless. If you say always hit twice and always make the 5 point, you can't always do both, especially when you could do either. One of my favorite sayings is all generalities are false. But I still like rules of thumb. Rules of thumb are right most of the time. They give you basic principles of the game. I think they're critical for beginners and intermediates. When you start to get to the open level, what you're really studying is how do you know when a rule of thumb is wrong? Because by then you already know all the rules of thumb, or most of them. So that's mostly, I'm teaching at different levels. When I teach higher level players, I'm teaching them how to know when to break the rule. And before that, I'm teaching them these rules. And I've had students say to me, but Phil, you told me you never do this. I said, well, never say never.
Double Double threes. Almost doing nothing.
This is a tough one.
Yeah, we have to come 20.
Huh? I have another saying about doubles. When you roll doubles, look for a good play, then look for a better one. Because there's so many ways to play it. Especially double ones, double twos, and double threes. There's so many different ways you can play them.
Come to 20.
I don't know
and
what,
five.
I don't know what I would do here. I see five good plays. I don't know what I would do.
We have to fight now because now 2-point board against 2-point board, so we have to fight for the 20 here.
Ah,
Also,
there aren't that many
there's
rolls.
several shots, but 8 and 7-point stripped, so we can collect return shots from there.
Uh-huh. I was about to say, there aren't that many rolls that make the 5-point for Dirk that don't leave a shot. You can't use the checkers on his 8 and 7. So it doesn't look as dangerous to make the 5 as you would think right now because of their stripped points. And by stripped, we mean, I don't like coming up to the 5, though. I think it allows them to hit loose or hit 2. I don't know. I don't like this. This scares me. He's doing it.
But 5-0 score is 5-0, so
Ah,
you cannot scare anything.
you take more chances.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, I also have a theory. When you're behind, the average player will play too recklessly, and when you're ahead, the average player will play too softly. So once you realize that, then you adjust and you go overboard the other way. So you got to find that middle spot. You got to find the right play.
And the killer shots.
Killer shot is right. Oh, that's a killer. That is a super joker.
Yeah.
Wow, they're both playing great, though. Both playing under 2. Joker.
Double hits, I guess. So double hits.
Oh, my goodness. He can't cover. This kept,
No, we hit and cover, right? Yeah, we hit and cover.
you can't, oh, he does hit and cover. That's right.
Yeah.
Why do you not hit and cover? I like the sound of that. When I hear the sound, hit and cover, it melts my heart. Hit and cover, is it right? It is the right play by far. No, this is wrong, you want to cover.
Yeah, but you have to check it because very complicated position. Checkers everywhere, so you have to look every options. As you mentioned,
Yeah.
doubles is
The nice thing about backgammon as opposed to chess is you can make the move, look at it and put it back. No, you want the hit. There's no way he's gonna make the wrong play here. Oh, he did! He didn't cover.
yeah.
Wow. I was just gonna say, I'll give you 3-1 odds he comes up with the right play. It's usually a good bet with Mochi. Oh, my goodness. Another uncharacteristic, maybe because of the score, you get a little shook. That was a surprise.
No, coming 20 and cheating is very dangerous, so you have to play safe here, I guess.
Wow, I can't get over Mochi not doing the hit and cover. It was quite a blunder, wasn't it?
Yeah, very big blunder.
Big blunder, wow.
Now we can see
You don't see too many of those, yeah. When you see the PR, Mochi's gonna jump up over probably about 3. Maybe 2.5, we'll see how many decisions there were. Mochi will not be happy with that play when he sees it later. He takes it very seriously. He will be reviewing this for a long time. Yeah, he will jump to 4 PR. Wow.
Because also that move is blunders.
Yeah.
Covering 10 is blunders. Feel.
Yeah.
You have to play safe 10 to 5. It's also hard to find, but not for Moshi normally.
Uh-huh.
Maybe he loses his concentration because
Wow.
interesting play because I see that we shouldn't stay on the 18. Now it's a good chance to move from there. But
It's hard for me to get off the midpoint, the 18. Oh, the 18, oh, you meant to say on the 18. Yeah, yeah. Okay. As we know, Dirk is going to be very, very slow to double when you're winning 2 away, 7 away, because any take is going to instantly give you a recube to 4, automatic recube. So Dirk can't double until he's at least 80% wins and not too much volatility. Now, Mochi, if he didn't have those 2 blots and the 3 checkers back, got to hit and cover? I think you have to.
Yeah.
Where do you hit and where do you cover? Well, that's the question. You could hit with either 6. That looks right to me, partially because you, with 3 checkers on, you were on the 24 point, you got to get one of them moving. So this would have been my play. That's my gut reaction. Hitting off the 18, though, gives you another builder to blitz. But then you still got to get those checkers out. And you only have 1 back, so you have to hit them. I think you have to hit off the 18. Instead of off the 7. He's looking at it, doesn't hurt to look.
But yes, he spent most of his time, so he should be faster.
Mochi made the right play. Oh, big 5, big 5. I play safe with the 2, don't you? No, you don't. It's wrong. I would have come out and played safe. You'd rather have more shots?
Why come out? Why we?
I see. I would have continued, but I see it's wrong, but I have to give some thought. Gives Mochi some more entering hits this way. I guess you're not going to double them afterwards anyway. You're going to be too good to double. So you're going to play on for the gammon. So you might as well play for the gammon. If you're going to play for the gammon, play for the gammon.
14 and 11 seems
Yeah.
good.
Would you like to make a bet on this match? I'll take Dirk.
Okay.
Okay?
Moshi is my guy.
You're betting on Richie this match? Okay. Now we got to talk about how much. Doesn't hit. Doesn't really need that hit for gammons. In fact, the hit might even help. Getting hit might even help Mochi here be able to hold the. No, he'd rather not get hit. He'd rather keep making points. And the gammons now, if Dirk can bring this home without leaving a shot, it'll win the match. Oh, coming in is good. Where's the 2? Where is the 2?
You should wait there
Why do you wait there?
in case of 2-1.
In case of 2-1?
And double ace, we have a return shot.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay. So just a couple of rolls might make it right to return, and you have to think about that.
Yeah.
I love when people say backgammon's all luck, and you just watch every move and you think about how much skill goes into the thinking on every play, even a small play like that. I call that a small play because the odds of it mattering aren't much, but it's still a lot of logic involved. Okay, I have a formula, 3 back on the ace, you get gammon 35% of the time. A little bit more here because Mochi's got all those outside, a lot more because he's got all those outside checkers. Where's David Rockwell when I need him? He helps me with these formulas. And John O'Hagan. So there's a lot of gammons here, and in other words, as long as Dirk doesn't get hit, he's going to win a gammon and the match.
I hope you get it.
You hope he gets hit? I do too.
I need more action.
Yeah, we got the action. We're not rooting for, we want more action, we want to see the match go on. How often do you get to see 2 players like this play each other? It's exciting. I know it looks like a lot because you go to YouTube and that's all you're seeing is the top players when they play each other, but in real life, having a chance to watch Mochi and Dirk play live, that's an honor. It's a real honor. For me, it is. I'm blessed to be here. Okay, PRs are still very good. We criticize Mochi for a couple of blunders, though. He's still playing 3.5. How many people in the world would like to play at 3.5? Just about all of us. In a bad match, you play 3.5. In a good match, in a great match, I play 3.5. Do you? I'm not sure what you do here. I think you come off the top point. Yes, that's my play. You try to clear. You're going, you're not trying to hold them. You're just trying to get those checkers off. Now, if you don't roll a 3, I shouldn't say it out loud, should I? As long as Dirk doesn't roll a 3, he's going to be very happy here. That double 6 might save the gammon. That's a big roll for Mochi. That's a big roll. He doesn't want to waste any pips. That's why he left 1 back. He'd rather do that than waste. Oh, I said don't roll the 3. I forgot about 1 3. You can roll double 3s. That is a tough one. Another double 6. Can that matter? Maybe. There's a slight chance Mochi will get off this gammon now. Oh, that's it. Curtains. Mochi needs more doubles or this match is over. Oh my goodness. It ain't over till it's over. He's still going to have doubles next time, though. Yeah. He still has to have doubles. He's looking to see which doubles work more. He wants to make sure double 2s works. Everything works. Double 1s doesn't work. And it's over. The double roll. Very fine match again. Dirk played at 2. Yeah. Mochi played. So Dirk's going to pick up 2 points here. It's not, and this one's more official because they have it done. Do we have the PR from the previous match that they played?
As soon as you can round up, the better, because then we have more break.
Huh?
As soon as you can round up.
Oh, okay. We're going to round this up pretty quickly. We want as big a break for the staff as possible and for the players so we can relax and regroup. My first thing I want to do is thank you, Ali, for joining me. Thank you. Your insights are beautiful, and it's nice to know more about you. I've known you for years, of course, and I think you've been pretty well known a long time as the best player in Turkey, so you're maintaining your throne there. But there's a lot of really good players here, too. I wish you could travel more and make it to more tournaments. We don't see you in Monte Carlo enough.
I hope to. I'm planning this year Monte Carlo.
Good. Monte Carlo is
probably I will be there.
All right, I'll be there too, and I'll do the commentary with you in the finals, and I'll be able to tell everybody, hey, my friend is in the finals, my good friend Ali. Great to have you with us.
Thank you.
And we're going to wrap it up now. Very exciting matches. We're going to continue. I think we had it set for 5:30, 5:30 Istanbul time for our next round. And we have, yes, 5:30, 8:30, and 10 p.m. is the schedule for the rest of the day. And thank you all for watching. And come back and join us in this incredible, exciting event. It's called the Ultimate Backgammon Contender, UBC, and this really is ultimate. Look at the play of these guys. I'm in awe. Thank you all, and keep in mind we watch the chat, so if you have questions or comments, let us know.
Ultimate Backgammon Championship.
Ultimate Backgammon Championship. This is the contender part of the Ultimate Backgammon Championship. So the winner of this championship, which we'll have on Friday, is going to meet Sander, and lots of people are hoping and expecting to see Mochi and Sander go at it again, but it's not written in stone yet. Mochi's going to have to win, going to have to get by Dirk, and then the winner of the other semifinal. So thank you everybody for watching. We'll see you at 5:30. Take a nice break, and I'm looking really forward. The opening ceremony of the Istanbul tournament is one of the most exciting opening ceremonies. Fuat puts on a show like nobody, and he honors the people coming from all over the world that he's so happy to see here. And I get to see all my Turkish friends again. So I'm looking forward to that as much as I'm looking forward to the next match. See